Hello, everyone.
Good morning,
Hello.
Avi.
I so guess we can start it soon. Let me find out where is the things. Um, so let me share my screen in here. All right. The one things I wanted um to set up front is the global summit is coming, and there are the breakout sessions and the FTS in here. So if you're a company like to submit a paper to the breakout session, I think you have to do it uh, in pretty soon. There's a call for presentation, and that'll be June 16th. There is a special focus on the optical track. Um, so that'll be the one of the place that you can talk about the network on the optics. And from my understanding, there will still be another FTI workshop uh, about the for the short reach optics. James said, I think I raised a question, so would you be able to explain it a little bit more to the people here?
Yeah, I can do that. Sorry, specifically about the workshop at Global?
Yeah, I think how these two expected would be expect the difference between these two group
Yeah, that too.
and
Okay, sure. I
the
can cover
company
all of it.
like to, yeah, to throw out a paper, which one should they go?
Yep. So if you were to click on the button to submit to FTS, there's a few FTS tracks. So like one is quantum, one is sustainability technologies, and one is sort of AI HPC. The FTS in general, Future Technology Symposium, is supposed to be more academically oriented and technologies that are sort of like 2 to 5 years out. So less stuff that's in commercial product production today or close to product production. And the submission format, we call it a call for papers instead of call for presentations, as it says there. It's a 2-page IEEE format. And we accept stuff into FTS as either talks or posters only. So people are expected to make a poster as well, and all the posters are displayed at the Global Summit. I'm sure some of you have been there and seen all of that. So it's a highly technical format. The summit breakout sessions are obviously familiar to everyone. They're regular presentations. They can also be panel discussions where you can have up to 4 panelists and a host. And that is more competitive, but it's a call for presentations where you submit an abstract just like any other conference and a title, as well as a little blurb about what the attendees will learn from going there. And then there's a program committee as well for every separate track that reviews those. So when you submit into a track. I'm sure people have been to the summit before and know the tracks, but I think that the ones that are most relevant for this audience will be the track for the special focus on optics photonics, the track that's a special focus on AI, and the track that's a special, not a special focus, but on the networking project at large. and networking technologies. There are others, you know, if it was something server NIC oriented, you know, at the endpoint, I suppose you could submit it to the server track. So you're free to submit to wherever. We strongly discourage people from submitting the same thing to multiple tracks, because that almost always gets caught and will be more of a sign for people to reject it. So if you submit something to multiple tracks because you want to have, for example, a better competitive edge or chance to have your talk accepted, that's fine, but they have to be very differentiated abstracts and pick different titles that caters specifically to that track topic. You know, people, for example, I would tell you, always submit something to the AI track that is basically an AI wash topic, and those quickly get weeded out by the program committee volunteers. But yeah, that's just sort of a PSA.
So the list of submission tracks pops up on the website after you go to try to submit a paper, or is it also listed on the website separately?
Yeah, I wish it was submitted. I wish it was here too, just for ease of viewing, but it's not. You do have to go into click the button and see it. So yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for doing this. Here you can see
Okay.
the list of all of them.
Yep.
And this is actually not an exhaustive list of what may be the final list of tracks at the event. Sometimes if we have a huge amount of submissions, for example, I tell you the server group always has a lot of submissions and the cooling group always has a lot of submissions. We sometimes break that stuff up with the program committee into like multiple cooling technologies or multiple server technologies. That doesn't, or it hasn't happened with too many other cases. So AI will probably be a one full day AI track. Photonics, sort of the same, where it's a special focus photonics / optics.
I've gotten some emails from people that didn't understand what tracks would be available. So I don't know if it's possible to change the front part of the website, but maybe just put in bold, when you register, you pick a track. There was some confusion about people about how to do this.
Sure, yeah. Let me give that feedback to Kate and Kaylee and our events team at large and see if we can put this list onto the main page. I agree. I think it would be a useful thing to have. So, yep, I heard you. Let me take the action. And so finally as well, Bobby mentioned workshop. So various communities, but in particular the FTI communities, you know, the OCP staff sort of like to give extra attention and resources for. So we do have a workshop that will be hosted in a private meeting room, sort of like a roundtable style. So you'll remember it from last year. That is, it's not one of the presentation rooms. It's more of like a boardroom meeting room style thing. And that will be open by invitation, you know, Bobby and others, you know, generally anybody can show up if they want to, and we can sort of advertise it if you like, even on the FTI page, Bobby, it's sort of up to you. But you know, it's on the order of maybe like 20 to 30 people that the room will hold usually. So
It will be slightly
for
different
that's for
than last
you
year.
to curate as well, as sort of a
Mhm.
work stream lead in terms of the topics that kind of come together. It can be, you know, a more casual get together without much of an agenda, or you can have a few things on the agenda and then open it up to whatever community discussion. But I think, you know, that will require some planning over the months leading up to Global Summit to figure out how it comes together. But it's another thing that will happen at Global Summit, so I'm just mentioning it now.
Great. Thanks, Shane.
Of course.
All right, so that is about the Global Summit part. So it's coming, although this is still like 4.5 months away, but it's approaching, especially everybody wanted to enjoy the summer, so the time is going to be even more compressed. All right, so let's go into
Bobby, if I may, this is Yamak. As James was talking about submissions, you can imagine people are getting more interested, and very many submissions will come for the OCP summit. If material that's coming in is clear, that's coming from multiple companies, multiple aspects of the problem, it is easier for the program committee to pick those. And since we're working as group, for example, here, if we work together, tackle the problem from multiple angles, and different names and different company names are on the submission, it's easier for the program committee to select your submission than others.
Yes, got it. Yeah, that's true. And I think as James pointed out, we're gonna have like a workshop style, smaller sessions. So I think it would be similar to last year, that it's more flexible. We can do a lot of last minute things, and can express a lot of more with more flexibility to pick the topics and jam in the different ideas into it. All right. So this is the things I promised to show with everyone, and this is like a very first draft. Don't I don't think it means anything, because I like to I like everyone's chime in, and if you have any ideas, suggestions, welcome to reach out to me, or I'm going to put the documents online, so you can, of course, you can edit it to put down your thoughts, comments, everything else. But this is what I came out so far for our white paper supposed to be. So Mike suggests that we should have the Scale Up Network Introduction and Challenge, and it's inviting the people from UA-Link or SUE to address the problem at the beginning. So we will have some very clear top-down view for the Scale Up Network Challenge. And then let me just go through the whole things, and welcome the discussion. And then I'm thinking about we should break down to several key specs that Optical could help in these challenge. Something like lossless media for the fiber, and then what would be the benefit for that, and how remove additional components with no retimers or redriver that can improving the latency, or with because of the less distortion, we can have less DSP, smaller FAC, something like that to improve the latency. But I was just type it in here that when I try to go through my thoughts, that does that really matter as a 1 microsecond round trip latency limit in these spec. So this would be the part I just write it down here. So and maybe there's a large aggregated bandwidth that the copper probably hard to reach. For example, the band radius for the copper, would that be blocking the airflow? Would that be means harder to put in more things, more cables into it? So that means you lower down the bandwidth that would limited your bandwidth, or I think I remember there was something like the people are talking about the weight of copper that could increasing significantly when you have so many copper cables travel in between. So something that would be telling the general advantage compared with optic and copper and what optics could do better. I'm hoping that we can address some of the cost benefit or the total ownership cost things that in this paper as well, but I don't know where to put it in. So I'm welcome all the suggestion. So after that, then we have to address like why people don't want to going into the optics at the moment. Probably we have to clearly define the reliability. We have to define some of the sideband problems, or even like the power on reset. There's the things that if it's not resetted at the same time, would that be a problem? Because I'm thinking some of the coherent memory poolings or something that when you have not able to maybe another box is shutting down, that could be some of the problem. And interoperability, that could be another challenge. And also the diagnostic and the troubleshooting, how does that how many things that we have to define, to figure out what kind of failure, what kind of diagnostic tools that we have to have. And especially I'm thinking about if there was a way that we can address it more deeply. For example, how does that the failure happens? Is there anything that we have to put it in, especially these scale-up networks are especially using in the AI workload? And then how does that gonna affect the AI workflow? And is there for example, a standard API or a standard how frequently we have to detect the things so we can report to the training or inferencing software that they can redirect the network into or retry the network, instead of the system just hang there and losing losing the money or power, overall just increasing the cost. Then after that, after the general problems, then we can start going into the special solutions for each form factor. We already knew the standard ones like CPO, MPO, blockable, and there may be people wanted to address on the switch. And the idea is in each form factor, it all has some strengths. We can maybe not have to talk too much on the weakness part, because it's all about like picking up the best solutions for everyone. So just more emphasizing on the strengths, and then of course you can explain a little bit more on your company solutions, like how everyone, because I think even with each solution, right, the CPO or MPO or pluggable, every company has different solutions in here, and there's no limit for the page for this white paper, so we can put everyone's solutions in here, and explaining what would be the strengths, specialty for your company solutions, what kind of problem you're addressing, especially fitted into the UA link or SUE, this kind of scale on network, how these things can be tackled, and maybe there's some packagings or link budget issues that works the best for your company solution or even reliability, and how basically this session would be the places that you can explain a lot of the detail of the company strengths in here, and then we going into the conclusion side. So any thoughts, ideas, and suggestions?
Bobby, maybe I lost lock on this. Is this outline for a white paper, or is this the summary of how you want people to submit to FTI for the global summit?
Oh, this is more for the white paper.
Right. Okay, fine. I think I heard the word presentation once. I got confused.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It says general idea. Type E, it says general idea for this session. So this is the general idea for that one section of the white paper. Okay, thanks.
No, it's not general idea of what I mean. This what I mean this session is probably not the E. It's more like the number 4. What it is. The session means number 4, and I was just trying to.
I got it.
Yeah.
Bobby,
yes.
The outline as you went through makes very much sense. In other words, problem statement and then solutions that individual different companies are working together. That's good. The solutions exist or people are working on it, but it would be good, since it is an OCP white paper, to say where groups are getting together to solve these problems as well. If we can highlight that, that will help people coordinate their activities.
Oh, sure. Yeah. This is just a general the skeleton of the thing, so we can definitely add a lot more into it. Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby, I just have some thoughts on item E. I mean, essentially we've done this before, explaining each company's solutions. And I think from guidance I've received from OCP, I think what we want to try to do this time is get away from that and focus on a recommendation to OCP. So I think what you have, A through D, looks good, but diving into the strengths of each company's solution, I don't think is going to be where we want. I mean, we can really rat hole into all of the different solutions, and there I think I would encourage companies to make an FTI contribution, right? So if you have a specific strength that your company is providing, do an FTI submission, and then you can have the full 20 minutes to go through your company's strategy. I think for our white paper, I think what we're trying to do is, make some recommendations on the requirements. What specifically are the requirements here for the optical link? That'd be my suggestion.
Yeah, that would be an yeah, that I think that is the things that I think I'm a little bit pivot from the original, just the recommendation part. I don't know if that would be a red hole in here, because that's why I want my original thought is, this could be a pretty good places to express, and of course Ron's idea that submit FTI contribution on the workshop, that's also like a wonderful place to
Yeah.
to express the company solutions, and um, I don't know about give it a specific suggestion, because I think each solutions all has its pros and cons,
Right.
and we are giving things to measure, and
Right.
explaining the all the details. So I think the system designer would have a kind of like a guideline to pick up the best solutions that they think they need to be, and that's one of the reasons why I think we can put the company's solutions in there. It's almost like a catalog, right? that collect a lot of different solutions in here. Everyone tells what is their best. Then the system AI system designer, they can go into this catalog and pick the best solutions they wanted to contact with. So that's my thoughts.
Ron, I'm listening to this and I'm thinking maybe there's a way to converge the 2 points. Perhaps after stating the problem and potential solutions, as Bobby says, individual companies can outline what their individual strengths are. And I think, Ron, you'd want to bring us back and say, okay, if we don't do anything special, the solutions might be might be diverging. But then since we're working as a community, we can outline recommendations for how to bring things together in a common way. And maybe at the end of it, we will show that certain things can be common and certain things will have to remain as different.
Right, right. And I think that's the point. And I think what our charter was to basically try to define those requirements. And I think we've made a lot of progress in the last 6 months, just even focusing in on, okay, here we have contributions from UA Link, we have contributions from Broadcom with Sue, and this is great work that we can say, hey, here's how we think this works optically, with the addition of the optical link, and sort of list that out and really try to solve the bigger problems, which is for scale up. And I think what I'm trying to encourage this group is, hey, we're hosting an FTI workstream at OCP Global Summit. Add your contributions to the workstream. We'll have a whole afternoon where companies, each company can present their solution. But for us as a group, let's identify the larger problem, and that's what I think. That's what the white paper is. Okay, seeking to how to solve the problem of optical connect, GPUs, memories, and the scale up. So that's where I think we ought to focus. And then I'm not sure, the problem is with the catalog approach, Bobby, is where do you start and where do you end? Because everybody's going to want to put their item in the catalog. But if we can have folks presenting in the work stream, then it's right there. Everyone can just grab the presentation or sit and listen, to each company's proposal.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I have a 11 o'clock meetings, another meetings that I have to jump in. So I'll have to leave soon, but I welcome everyone to stay and continue to discuss. I will share this document in the notes. Please chime in, and of course, there are several people who's already volunteered to be the committee, and I think I'll organizing a separate meetings just to discuss about how this structure can be to make it even better. All right, thank you guys, and I'll have to leave soon. Welcome to stay and continue to discuss.